I'm going to give a few moments for people to start coming in before we officially start. I hope everyone's been having a great week as always. I've been doing well. Okay, so I see people are just starting to come in right now. Hi everyone. Hi Des. Hi Christina. Hi Joy. Ooh, this is one of my favorite parts when people start coming in. Hey Maggie, how are you? So good to see you guys again. Hey there. Remember to send a wave or a heart so I know you guys are here. We're ready to get started. Okay, fabulous. I want someone to use my entire name. Hello. Okay, so I would like to officially welcome everybody to this week's Hector at Home, the Kids Edition. My name is Lisa Sayedi and I'm your host for today's project. So if you're new here today, just to give you a quick rundown on what we like to do here. So I work at the Hector Museum of Art and I bring a little bit of art to your day every week. And so what we'll be doing is I'll be showing you a work of art from the museum's permanent collection, or some weeks it could be something that we currently have on view, but today it is from our collection. And hello everyone. Hi Carrie. Okay, really happy. We got lots of people here with us today. So I'm going to introduce you guys to today's work of art, and what we're going to be doing is we're first going to make some initial observations and see what different kinds of details we can pull out from the work of art. I'll tell you guys a little bit about it, and then the really fun part is we're going to be getting inspired by what we're learning today, and then we'll move into this week's project, which is always the best part. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So, cannot be without my iPad for the live, and I'm going to show you guys what today's artwork is in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm a sucker for any work of art that has lots of different colors, so I'm very excited to show you guys this today. And like I was mentioning just before, I'm going to give you guys a few moments to look at this from top to bottom and try to come up with some different details or make your own observations on what you see or what really catches your attention on first glance. And you guys can write in the comments what you guys noticed and let me know. Okay, so Jess said that this is her fave, and I see some people did my countdown with me. Thank you. So what are some different details or things that you notice right away? Hi, Allison. Thank you for joining us. So for people who are just coming in right now, I'm showing you guys a work of art from the museum's permanent collection, and we're looking at it together and trying to see what details really strike us at first glance. Okay, so somebody said that it looks psychedelic. Ooh, Maggie said it reminds her of being under the sea. Christina says she sees lots of squares. Yeah, agreed. We see like a grid almost going all across the front. Somebody else said that it looks like water. Okay, and Helen agrees that she likes all the colors as well. Fabulous. So these are all really great things that you guys have pointed out. So I wanted to share with you the name of this work of art, and this is called Amsterdam, and the artist's name is Risaburo Kimura. So if you guys didn't know, Amsterdam is actually the capital of the Netherlands, and I wanted to share a fun fact about Amsterdam with you guys, and that it's actually all surrounded by water. And one of the really famous things about Amsterdam is that it has a lot of canals that run all throughout the city. Have any of you guys ever been to Amsterdam? I'm curious. So this work of art was actually a part of a bigger series that Risaburo did, and it was called Cities of the World. And one of the things that he really wanted to get across to people who looked at his art was to be able to take an imaginative journey around the world, but through his art, which I think is pretty awesome. Okay, yeah, so Christina said that she's been. Joy's been there. Awesome. So we have a ton of world travelers here. I've actually also been to Amsterdam. I went for my 20th birthday when I was studying abroad. So looking at this, again, like you guys mentioned, Maggie said, and a few other people as well, that one, it reminded them of being underwater, but just water in general. And I think that's perfect. So we were talking about that we saw a lot of different colors as well as shapes and lines. So when you're looking at these, because of all the different lines that Risaburo used, it really makes it look like water. So we have these lines and with all the different colors, and they're getting repeated over and over again to create a pattern. And because of the effect that all of the lines and colors create, it really makes it look like the surface of water. So also, if you look at the way these lines are being formed, it kind of looks like ripples. What do you think? Do you think it looks like ripples at the surface of water? So for me, it really reminds me of when you skip stones. So if you guys have ever had the experience of skipping stones on water, when the stone hits the water surface, it starts to create ripples or rings around where it hits the water. And it starts out really concentrated where it first hits. And then as we go outside and further away, the rings get further and further apart as well. So that's what it really reminds me of, ripples on the surface of water. Okay, yeah, and people are agreeing about the wavy lines looking like ripples. Awesome, great. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. So when we're looking at this, I told you guys that the title is Amsterdam. And that's a real place that some of us have even visited. But when you're looking at Risaburo's work of art, does this look like some place you could go? Does this look like some place you could actually visit? I don't think so. I mean, I think that Risaburo has created a really amazing and interesting work of art, but it doesn't really look like somewhere that any of us could actually visit. But what we did say was that when we're looking here, we see colors, shapes, and lines, but it doesn't look like a real place. So we would call that abstract. And it's something that we've talked about on other episodes of Hextra at Home, and we have it here again. So this is a very abstract work of art that Risaburo has created. So what I thought would be really fun for us to do today is, while we're being inspired by this abstract work of art that Risaburo has created, I thought we could think of us taking our own kind of journey somewhere around the world. Now, that could mean that it's somewhere far away like Amsterdam, or maybe Berlin or Tokyo, or anywhere really that you can think of. Or we could try to make it a bit more imaginative, and you can even create something from your own imagination. It is all up to you. So I'm going to be showing you guys what I did for this week's project. I hope you guys like it. I have fun every single week that I do this, but I especially have fun when I get to do abstract work because it can always go in a different direction. So I'm going to show you guys what I did for this week, and that was, ta-da! So this is what I created after seeing Risaburo. So this is Risaburo's work, and then this is what I made. So I want to tell you guys what my inspiration was behind creating this. So while I could have chosen to do somewhere really far away and fantastic, I actually wanted to do somewhere that was a bit closer to home and made me feel really good. I'm just going to check your comments out here. And so I thought, well, where is one of my favorite places to be? And if you guys didn't know, our museum is actually located inside of Hextra Park. And not only do we have the museum, but there's also a wonderful pond that a lot of people take walks around. We have beautiful trees and flowers, but there's also a playground. And I don't know about you, but even though I grew up and I'm not a kid anymore, I always love going to playgrounds. And my favorite part is the swings. And so I decided that I wanted to do somewhere close to home, and I based my project on Hextra Park, and especially the playground. So what I did in the middle was, you see how I created these really crazy wavy lines over here? So here's where I thought of like all of the energy that you have when you're playing inside of the park, and you get like that adrenaline rush when you're on the swings and you're having a ton of fun by yourself or with your friends. So that's what I imagined when I was creating this middle part here. And then for these two opposite sides, I mentioned that we have a big pond at the park. So I wanted to kind of take inspiration from the way that Risaburo did his water in his painting or in his work of art and redo it in mine, but in my own way. So if you guys see here, these lines are really pointy and have angles in them, but the ones over here are really wavy and loose. And it's actually the wavy and loose ones are pretty similar to what we saw here in Risaburo's. So when we have loose or more natural looking lines, we call that organic. So when it's wavy or loose and you don't really see anything pointy or have an angle, we call that organic. But here, where you see where it's more pointy in the center area that I did, we call those more geometric lines. So I used two different kinds of lines to create my own abstract project. Okay, and Maggie says she also loves the playground. Listen, Maggie, we should definitely play on that playground sometime in the future when all this is over. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you guys how you can get started on your own abstract journey to your place of your choice. So what you need, as we do for every project, is a clean piece of paper. Then you are going to need a pencil, an eraser, scissors, your choice of coloring materials. I happen to use Sharpies for this week's project, but you can also use your own kind of markers. It doesn't have to be this. It could be Crayola or anything you have at home. Crayons. It could be anything. So after you pick your coloring materials, after that, you are going to also need a ruler to get some clear-cut lines. So what to do to get started is to make this a little simpler for yourselves. How about you pick a shape, okay? And this can really be any different kind of shape. It could be a circle, it could be a square, a triangle, a diamond, a star, a heart. It is up to you to decide which one you want to start with, but pick your destination or place in your mind that you want to make your design or pattern for. So once you have that in your head, I want you to pick a shape that matches whatever idea you have in your head. And you're going to start out by making a small shape on your paper. And then we're going to think of those ripples that Risaburo created in his work, and we're going to kind of use that to start off our own project. So to demonstrate for you guys, I'm going to use a diamond and show you how that could look as a starting point. I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil, and I'm also going to outline this in black so it's easier for you guys to see on the camera. Okay. So I'm going to start out by making that first diamond shape, and then I'm going to continue to make more and more so they make that same kind of design that we originally saw and when we were talking about the ripples in water. So I don't know if you guys said it yet or not, but have you ever had the experience of skipping stones in water? I've always tried, but I'm never really successful at it. But they do say practice makes perfect. So I guess I'll just have to keep trying. Ooh, okay, so Maggie said that she's gonna do a cloud shape. I think that's amazing. And if you do end up doing the project, please send me a picture. I would love to see what it looks like. Okay, and I'm just about doing my last shape here. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. So as you can see, I started out with that small shape in the center, and then as it grew and grew, it got wider and further apart. So while I decided in this sample to show you guys one shape that takes up the entire page, you can also do one shape here, one shape here, one shape there, and then expand, and maybe you can even let the different lines intersect or overlap on top of each other, or you can keep it to just one like I did here. So let's say you finish sketching, you finish outlining, and you finish coloring, which if you ask me is my favorite part. I really feel like every work of art truly comes to life once you apply color to it. Then comes probably my second favorite part, after the coloring. So in the very beginning, actually, one of you guys mentioned when we were making our observations that you saw a lot of squares on the original artwork that we were looking at. So I'm going to show you guys that again. So if you guys see, we have like this grid pattern running all throughout the work of art. And if you can see a little closer, it's made up into all of these little squares. So when I originally saw that, it made me think of a puzzle. And I thought it would be so fun if we could turn our work of art into some kind of a puzzle. Okay, Maggie says she's trying to skip stones. And were you successful? Were you able to do it? And if you were, how many times did you get your stone to be able to skip across? So what I did once I had mine all finished was I turned it around to the back and I decided how I was going to cut it up to make it into puzzle pieces. Okay, so what I did was I created 3 pieces across, 3 pieces on the bottom, and altogether 9. So I decided with 9, and you can go with 4 or 6 or 12 if you want to make your pieces smaller. That is totally cool. I just ended up choosing 9 for today's project. So I actually marked it off in Sharpie just so you guys would be able to see better, but you can definitely just leave it with pencil because you're going to be cutting it anyways. So to do this, I just roughly used my ruler as a straight edge and I traced all my lines. And once you're done with this, you're going to go ahead and cut all of your pieces out. Now to make this a little easier, what I did first was I cut this into 3 strips, and so then it turned into 3 pieces. And then I lined them up and layered them together so they were all even. And so instead of having to cut each individual one, I was able to just cut all 3 at once. So I would just go ahead, chop chop, and there we go. So I have all of these pieces, but I'm not going to show you the blank ones. I have these already cut up from my original. So if you guessed it, that's why I was showing you my original piece on my iPad, because I had already cut out my project to be in my puzzle pieces. So while I do have a picture of my original and how it looked, I thought it'd be really cool if you would have the opportunity to rearrange your art and make it look different every single time you tried it out. So what I wanted to do for us today is I brought a board so it'd be easier for us to see, and I wanted to show you guys how I would be able to rearrange this to look different all the time. So before I do this, I'm going to show you guys one more time what my original project looked like. Okay, remember, this is the original. And let's see how I can make this look different. Oh, Maggie was not successful skipping the stones. You gotta give it a try again. I'm sure you'll get it eventually. Okay, so now it's time for rearranging. So let's see what I got here. So I don't have any specific plan right now. I'm just gonna see how it looks as I go along. So I think I'm gonna start with this crazy piece. I'm gonna put it on the bottom here. And then I'm gonna take this one, put it on that corner. Take another one here. I think I want to put it up top over there. Take this one. Okay, I'm gonna take this piece, put it here. I'm gonna move this one just down a little bit. Move that over there. Put this here. I'm gonna actually rotate this one a little bit and put it over there. And my last piece, we're just gonna go there. Okay. This is what it looks like when it is all rearranged. And the cool part about this is that I can just keep moving those pieces over and over again, and I'm always going to end up with a different kind of work of art. And I think that's pretty cool. And you can keep taking pictures as you're trying different ones, and then maybe once you find an arrangement that you like the best, you can actually take those and glue it or tape it onto a new piece of paper, and that's your final artwork. Or you can just keep them separate all the time and work with it when you feel like it and make a new picture every time. So that is today's project. And before I set this down, I'm actually going to show them side by side so you guys can see. Okay, so this was the rearranged one, and this was my original. Okay. So I really had the best time doing this. I think I always really enjoy getting to experiment and be really creative when I get to do abstract stuff. So I hope you guys do the same and have just as good of a time as I did. Awesome. So I see a lot of people enjoyed today's project. So please do give this a shot on your own. Take lots of pictures. I would love to see what it looks like originally and then how you decided to cut it and rearrange it. And please don't forget to tag us on social media. And I will, of course, be back again next Tuesday for another session of Hector at Home, the Kids Edition. So thank you so much for joining me again. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram so you can get all of the latest up-to-date news on what we'll be coming out with next. All right, guys, have a really wonderful day. Bye!